We've got a fascinating deep dive for you today. We are exploring this essay by ORRIE Karim called Double Edge of an Organized Mind.
Right, and our mission here is really to unpack how, extreme memory, ADHD, and trauma all kind of combine into this relentless cognitive engine.
Yeah, and why we should really stop viewing complex minds as, like, broken.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the reality of Kareem's sensory memory is, well, it's intense.
It really is. I mean, they don't just remember facts. They remember the exact texture of a carpet from, 30 years ago, or the highly specific shade of the sky on some random Tuesday.
Wow. Wait, really? Just a random Tuesday?
Yeah, because their brain actually lacks a fading mechanism. Like, they don't lose those sensory details over time.
That is wild. I mean, most of our memories are like photo albums, right? You look at them, you close the book. But
Yeah.
this sounds like living in a house where every single door to the past is just left completely unlocked.
Exactly. And it's heavy. But this hyper-attunement developed for a very specific reason. It connects directly to childhood survival. Oh, right. Because they grew up in an emotionally unstable environment.
Yeah. Kareem had to learn to read micro expressions and the tone of a room way before words were even spoken, just to predict if they were safe.
So what looks like brilliant intuition today was basically forged as a shield in a fire.
Precisely. Every detail was recorded because, well, any detail could be a danger. But an engine built to scan for threats can't just power down when you go to the grocery store,
Right. The brain is just stuck up. So how does that translate to daily cognitive function? Like, how does ADHD play into that?
Well, ADHD here isn't a lack of attention, it's actually too much attention. Kareem describes it as a 24-hour factory of ideas that are just moving without permission.
But wait, wouldn't a documented high IQ, because Kareem's is like 119, wouldn't that make managing this complexity easier?
You would think so. But what's fascinating here is that IQ does not measure nervous system load. They are operating on two completely different software systems.
Oh, I see. So intelligence doesn't just fix the biological panic.
Right. High intelligence really just gives Kareem the terrifying vocabulary to analyze their own suffering perfectly, without actually giving them the physical tools to stop it.
Man, that is a terrifying paradox. It's like you have the exact vocabulary to explain why you are drowning, but knowing the word for water doesn't help you swim.
Exactly. And that inability to swim leads to this brutal 7-step nervous system cycle. It goes from intense alertness straight into exhaustion and then total system shutdown.
Just to survive the overload.
Yeah, only to restart the whole grueling loop again.
So if the mind and body are trapped in this exhausting cycle, how do you find peace without, erasing your own complexity?
Well, that's the core of the double edge that Kareem writes about. The curse is data exhaustion. You're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. But the blessing is seeing the why behind the what.
Ah, so they can comfortably navigate the gray areas of life.
Yeah, they understand hidden dynamics in a room that most people completely miss.
That makes a lot of sense. And Kareem realizes they aren't disorganized, they are organized, with 2 R's.
Right, a little play on their name.
I love that. It makes me think of a forest.
Mm-hmm.
A forest isn't disorganized just because it has a million overlapping roots. It is a highly efficient, interconnected system.
That's a great analogy. And because it's a complex ecosystem, Kareem isn't seeking a cure. They are seeking integration.
Finding actual rest for a nervous system that's always on guard.
Exactly. Kareem actually points to spiritual rest for this. They reference the unforced rhythms of grace from Matthew 11 and the comfort found in Psalm 139 of being fully known.
Oh, wow. Which acts as a signal to the nervous system that it can finally drop the shield. If you are fully known, the radar can stop spinning.
Exactly. It's about establishing deep safety.
That is so powerful. And for you listening, this is a powerful reminder that mental speed and complexity aren't inherently flaws. They might just be highly specialized tools built for unique internal structure.
Excellent.
So we want to leave you with this to ponder. If your greatest mental struggle is actually a survival tool perfectly adapted to your history, what piece of yourself will you stop apologizing for today?